Hey, this is Monfrey and Myers Tell the Truth, where we try to illuminate you on the mysteries of marketing, help you avoid getting ripped off, save some money, make your marketing more effective. And today's topic is it's a process, not a project. It's really what we're talking about is your mindset and how you see this is where it gets confusing, right? It's like where you see the process. Well, even when you're doing projects, you're engaged in a process. So it's like I want to back up even farther and say the whole thing, marketing, all of the activity under that umbrella is actually a process, and it contains a number of projects, but it's it's a deliberate decision-making process. And I think everybody has a hard time defining marketing, right? But what is it really? I mean, you're making a number of decisions, a lot of them actually. And the interesting thing to me is, again, people look at process in other parts of their business, but for some reason in marketing, they don't. They see it more like a bunch of sort of standalone things that they're doing.
Well, and that kind of gets back to my mini history lesson, right? Which is that marketing has traditionally been viewed as project managers for the sales process. And
now I'm with you.
So we were executors of projects that help grease the wheels for salespeople to get appointments. That's kind of fallen apart. So it means that I think a lot of B2B marketers or B2B companies are still structured so that sales is the primary driver of revenue, right?
Sure. Which
And
I don't argue
marketing
with.
is there to supplement that process. Now, not saying that marketing shouldn't do that, but sales is always short term. Like we're looking to see who's entering the market. We're trying to identify low-hanging fruit opportunities. We're trying to get involved in sales conversations. That's all lead generation. So if sales is driving those projects and marketing is implementing those projects, you are always responding to short-term demand, and you are missing out on the long-term creation of customers, which ultimately helps grease the wheels of sales, right?
Well, absolutely. And I think where it gets confusing is, let's say you're having a lag in short-term revenues, in sales, closing deals, whatever it is. It's very instinctive to say, well, we need to do something, right? A project, maybe a campaign, right? A project, but it isn't decided in a way that says, hey, let's do this deliberately. Let's look into the business. Let's understand how the parts work. And then let's look at all the different marketing tactics we have. That's a totally separate bone to pick, strategy versus tactics. But all the things and the projects that we're going to do, let's kind of figure all that out, ahead of time as well as you can. Now, everything continually changes, right? I mean, so again, that's part of the process. You're going to figure out as much as you can, and then this way you can make everything work together in an integrated way, right? And so looking at it as a process and having a commitment to the process actually is what makes I think it's the difference between failure and success.
So to take this to even a higher level talk, right?
Ooh, well.
It's the difference between directive leadership and collaborative leadership. So let me give you because in the sales culture, sales is telling marketing what to do. It's directive leadership. In the collaborative model, we're looking together to determine how are we going to get and create new customers and bring them to us so that sales is easier. That's a collaboration. We don't know the answers to that.
Right.
We have to work together to figure it out.
Well, and at first you're not going to know the answers. And, that's interesting because as an agency, when we start doing discovery with a client, we like to start with the salespeople. And it's really the first volley, of cannonballs in an offer to have a 360-degree process. There's that word again, between sales and marketing, so that it's just a continually improving process, metric test, metric, measure. It's a beautiful thing, and I think intellectually most of us know this, but in practice, I don't see it very often. And I'm not talking about very small companies. I'm talking about pretty good sized, what I call them mid-sized companies doing a couple tens of millions of dollars. They're still doing it in that short term. We need a project. We need to do a thing this for this quarter. And it's
And
just
many
kind of disappointing.
marketers, and many marketers, because that's how we've been trained, we think in terms of projects too, right? So we jump on that, like, oh, you need leads, let's develop a project. Let's do a video, let's do a blog, let's do a
Right.
white paper, let's do a webinar.
Well, and I can't stress enough that if you if you have a deliberate process, which is actually a fairly old idea, it just somehow it got lost. It is the difference between being wildly successful or even just successful, because everybody seems to be disappointed in their marketing, however they define it. And I mean everybody, every business that I talk to, they're just not happy overall with how marketing is performing. And agencies are churning through clients. And here's the thing, none of them have a deliberate decision-making process around marketing.
Tell the truth.